Well, and Jared wanted to know, what mental health care in Ukraine was like, both before the invasion and how's it today?
It's bad. People here drink, they don't go to psychologists, you know? So I'm generalizing, obviously, right? But first of all, many people in Ukraine are still kind of have this money problem is the problem. So if you can spend money on like food and your children's like clothing, why would you spend it on a psychologist? The bottle is kind of cheaper. So this is just one thing. Also, many Ukrainians are still, especially older people, are very like apprehend, therapy and psychology and things like that. Younger people are much better for sure with that. So they understand that if you go to a psychologist, that doesn't mean you're insane. So this is just something that there's a big gap between younger people in Ukraine and older people in Ukraine in regards how they treat their own like mental health and how they treat how they feel about taking care of themselves is probably the way to explain it. So comparatively, it got way better for 8 years after revolution. So we have been modernized pretty heavily, and this sphere was developing. My sister's a psychologist actually, so she like worked with teenagers and people and overall. So but yeah, it's not as it is in United States where like literally everyone and their mama goes to to therapy. It's not like that. Some people do, but most of people really don't, and they just power through, I guess, things in life. So yeah, so for many people, of course, after this whole invasion business, their mental health was not at its best, as you can probably imagine. So yeah, many psychologists work with people, with teenagers especially, who take it very, very, very hard, and they try to assist them in the best way they can. But yeah, most people are doing way better than you would expect. So you would talk with people and they will like smile, laugh, they will do normal things. So sometimes I would talk with people, and this is my opinion as well, by the way, I share it. So people would say like, we cry later, just cry when we win. when it all ends, then will be the time for grieving and crying. Right now is not the time to mop about. Right now it's time to support our army, it's time to work, it's time to support the country's economy, support your relatives who lost their jobs, your friends who cannot look after themselves. So this is not the time to to complain and mop about, which I completely agree with this attitude, to be honest.